Okay, so I didn't get it. Yesterday, I told him that I was gonna go to the States. So originally, I was gonna go to the city where he was going, in the Andes region. Just that he didn't want me to go. Like, originally, he wanted me to. Originally, I asked him, like, okay, so I see this as a big romantic gesture, but, like, I understand that there are cultural differences between us, and you might see it as invasive, so I need to ask you first, because if you don't like it, then I will not do it. And then he's like, yeah, that sounds nice. And I'm like, okay, so I'll go see you. And then it was just like, my mom doesn't want you to come because we cannot host you. Like, my house is going to be a mess. And I'm like, I'll just book a hotel. I wasn't planning on staying with you guys. And I'm talking about my boyfriend / favorite person, by the way. Okay, so clearly my mind is totally unorganized right now, and this happens. my thoughts are like they're coming so fast and they're not really making sense. So the fight was because at some point he mentioned, you can come with my aunt on the 12th. And I do remember now that he did say that. But I was so stubborn, and I could not understand how a 25-year-old couldn't tell his mother, like, my girlfriend is 31 and she's gonna do whatever she wants. Like, you have no power over her. Like, if she wants to come here and you don't want her to come, this is still her country, so she's still gonna travel. I mean, I can help you, and I'm not gonna see her if you need me to be here working. But that doesn't mean that the fact that she comes makes me an irresponsible person, because that's what his mother said. She said that he was being irresponsible because I was traveling, and that's so unfair. Like, his mother is so invalidating. Anyway, I sent some nasty messages because I was really angry, because we were not going to be able to spend Valentine's Day together, and that freaked me out. And plus the fear of rejection, because I swear, this is the first time an in-law hasn't liked me, and it feels weird. I mean, I graduated second place from high school. I have my IB diploma, the International Baccalaureate. I graduated top 5th from university, and it was a prestigious university here in my country. I studied industrial engineer. I have been an actress. I appeared on TV. I studied abroad. I did a semester abroad in Germany. I've traveled to over 20 countries. I'm fluent in English and Spanish. I speak a little German. I have lived in, well, obviously Germany and the UK. And I've taken really long vacations in the States. I don't know what else to say. And it sounds like I'm bragging, but I actually have, like, the lowest self-esteem. And obviously BPD, borderline, and I have 3 songs on Spotify. I was on 2 video clips of King's Daughters. One song was produced by Brian May. I think, oh yeah, I used to work for a magazine. I used to teach pilots and help them with their ICAO, like English, for aviation English. I used to tutor in maths, and my boss later became a congresswoman. So I've done a lot. And I was like not being liked by someone's mother. That's a first. Yeah, okay. Not being liked by a guy, that happens a lot. But not being liked by their mother, like, that doesn't happen. So anyway, I was freaking out. Like, I already had that trigger of fear of rejection. And I guess I was also feeling a little bit abandoned because he was in Lima with me, and then he was going to this place I'm going, oh my god, I really hate my neighbor right now, because that has been going on for a week. Like, it's a 50 square meter apartment. Like, how many paintings can you be hanging? Anyway, I should probably give a little context. He came to Lima looking for his brother. He was already my ex-boyfriend then, and he just messaged me, and I haven't been able to forget him, and we broke up in not the best terms. I still want to cry about it, and later I found out that he said that I was stupid, and he broke up with me 2 weeks before he left. Something similar to the psych ward. It was actually like a mental health facility that was a house, and that's another story for another day. And he messaged me, and I said, I'm headed to the theater, so you can come visit me afterwards, like 10 p.m. maybe. And he's like, wow, it's so late, because we had curfew at 11. And I said, you can spend the night if you want. I mean, I live with my father, and you can just, crash at the couch. And he said, okay. So he actually came, and we ended up kissing, and he ended up saying, like, I want to get back together with you. I want to have a serious relationship with you, which he had also mentioned on the 9th of December, but we lasted for 27 hours. So, and back then I wasn't sure. But I said no, and then on the 17th, I was like, 17th of January, so 2 days later or something, I was like, hey, you know what, I thought about it, and I think, yeah, we should get back together. And we did, but then we broke up 2 days later, so yeah. Well, anyway, I had convinced him to spend the night, right? And he was gonna leave the next day, but then I said, like, why don't you stay until my birthday? Because he arrived on the 15th. And I said, you have English classes, so you can use my laptop, and he said, okay. So he stayed, and then he said, like, I'm gonna try to stay in Lima. And he went looking for a job, and he got one. Oh, I can't stand that noise. Okay, so he got one at the hotel that's right next to my condo. And then when we got into a fight, he moved out of my house to a room that was 3 blocks away. So I kind of thought, so he's working a block away from my place, and he's living 3 blocks away from my place. Okay, it can mean something, or it can mean nothing, but... And then he just, they kind of fired him. I know it's not a good moment to talk to my neighbors, because I'm really vulnerable right now, but this has been going on for 3 weeks now, and I don't understand what they're doing in that apartment. but I can't take it anymore. So anyway, he then moved with his uncles, and that's like in downtown Lima, and that's kind of close, kind of far. Like, for me it's close, but I usually go there in my dad's car. He takes the bus, so that's really far. And I take an Uber, and that is expensive. Mostly because of the traffic. So, but yeah, I've visited him a couple times, and he then told me that he was moving back to Apurímac, so where his mother is, in the Andes region, to help her move back to Lima. But he would be coming back on the 15th, and I'm like, oh, so Valentine's Day. You know, I met the guys who were the owners of the apartment above of mine. They were friends with my former best friend, and they hardly ever were there. And they played music on their TV and danced, and I couldn't hear them. So I don't understand what's going on up there. But I don't know if it happens to other people who have BPD, but I'm really sensitive to noises, or I just can't stand it. In Spanish, we call them factores de vulnerabilidad. Like, vulnerability factors, I don't know. Okay. So anyway, my FP, who we will call Prince Frog, because that was his nickname last year, I don't know, we just got into an argument, and I sent him all this nasty texts, and then he got mad at me, and then he didn't want to talk to me, and then I kind of talked my way into him still talking to me, not exactly forgiving me, and it wasn't clear if we had broken up or not, and he said we'll talk later, which we never did. So 3 days have passed, we still haven't had the talk. I still don't know if I have a boyfriend or if I'm single and I should move on. And it seems, every time it seems like we're okay-ish, something happens and he gets mad and he's like a baby and like a, I'm sorry, there's a show, not politically correct, but yeah, he is acting like a girl. He's so immature. You know, and I'm the one with a mental illness. I don't care if I'm older than him. And then he's all like, oh, you know, you're 30, like, you should act your age. How can you send me these messages? And I'm like, those messages are like cliche, you know, women cliches. But yeah, it was immature of me, so I admit it. I already said I'm sorry. But I understand he's never had a relationship, so. And he just gets mad, and then he doesn't answer, and then he says, I'm busy. So I told him that I was gonna go to the States, because a friend told me, like, just come to where I am, you know? Vacations are always nice, and it's true. Like, whenever I had a broken heart, I would just, like, go on vacations anywhere, and then that heals a broken heart for me. So I told him, well, I wanted to talk to you because I'm going to the States next week, and I just wanted to say goodbye properly, you know, and I don't like leaving. I said something like living with unfinished business, or living, you know, in bad terms. And he said, like, you're going to the States? Like, when? Like, how? And I'm like, oh, now he answers? And then he called me, and I'm like, now he's calling me? And I'm like, Yeah, because, I mean, clearly I'm not going to your city. And he said, well, I'm not going either. And I'm like, you're not? He's like, no, I had a job interview yesterday. And I have another job interview today. And I'm like, oh. He's like, yeah, and I already like lost my ticket. And I'm like, why didn't he ask for a refund? But whatever. And I'm like, oh. And he's like, yeah, so that's money that is gone. And I can't remember what happened in the conversation, but then he mentioned something like, I was applying for those jobs and I went to that interview because I wanted to work here in Lima for you. And I'm like, what? And it's like, yeah, because I want to stay in Lima and for you. And I'm like, I thought you wanted to stay in Lima because you wanted to study here. And it's like, that too, but... And I was like, oh. So you can imagine I'm not really good at reading between the lines. And I know I like the idea of being an actress, and I've been an actress, but I'm not really that good when you give me my text or lines or whatever the word in English is, and I have to analyze it and be like, oh, what's really going on here, like the subtext, and I'm not that good. So I was left with that idea, and he said that we should talk later. And I said, like, okay, like when? Okay, so I got a message of like, my battery was low, and I thought I was still recording, but I wasn't. So I have no idea where I stayed. Something. The point is that I can't remember the last thing I said. Thing is, last night he was supposed to call me. He didn't. I called him. No answer. Like, it went straight to voicemail, so I figured, okay, so his phone is off. Maybe they mugged him. So I still, just in case, sent him a couple texts, and this morning he was like, oh, so I didn't have any battery, and I'm like, oh, I thought you had gotten mugged, like, and he's like, yeah, but can't you understand that things happen, and if you can't understand that, like, how is this relationship gonna work? And I'm like, I didn't say that to him, but I was like, relationship? Like, we're still in a relationship? Like, I swear, for the last 3 days, that hasn't been clear for me, because he hasn't been acting like a boyfriend, and he, like, seriously, you don't, I know I'm cold, okay? I tend to be really cold, especially for Peru, because Peru is like Latin America, and everybody is like so like sweet, you know? I'm just not. I guess because my great grandfather was German and my father is like that, and we're all kind of cold, and no offense to the Germans, but you know, culturally, like, you compare a German to a person from Latin America, and yeah, you guys are cold, which is not a bad thing, because I prefer that, but yeah, he bit me. he was like, his answers were so, I don't know. I couldn't even continue a conversation from that. So, it was rude, actually. And I was like, he could have used his words. I mean, we were talking in Spanish. If we had been talking in English, okay, I understand. His English level is not that good, but even the day before, he could have easily said, like, I'm still mad. I'm still annoyed. Many things have happened. I'm frustrated. I'm having family issues. It's nothing against you. Could we please talk tomorrow? I don't feel like talking to anyone today. Is it that hard? Like, is it? So anyway, him saying like, oh, I don't think this relationship's gonna work. And meanwhile, I'm like, what relationship? Like, I'm still in a relationship. Like, okay. You know, I didn't get the memo, but... And then he actually... I'm lacking the words right now because I'm so out of practice, but he said something like, oh, was it? He was just getting mad at my privileged life. He was like, I actually need to work for my stuff. I don't have everything handed out to me like you. Something along those lines. And I was like, wow. I mean, dude, I have a freaking mental illness. Last time I got a job that I hated, I decided to do something that attempted against my well-being. The S word. So, since then, I decided that if I was gonna get a job, then it had to be something that I was passionate about and that I really enjoy doing. And right now, I'm trying to make people become more conscious about mental illnesses and eating disorders, and I'm looking for an artistic way to do so. So, you know. Plus, legally, I work for my dad. So, I'm starting to think that my favorite person, because if he is my boyfriend or not, I still don't know. But he's definitely my FP. I'm starting to think that he really envies me. Okay, you know what? I finished this video. I'm going upstairs because 3 weeks. 3 weeks I've been doing that. I mean, legally they can. But what's going on? It's starting to sound like they have a business going on there, and that's not loud. Because... oh. Now they're done? I got my hopes up high too soon. So, yeah, that's a story about my FP. Before I started this video, I was actually crying because I was running all his breakup codes. Not a good idea. And it said something like evaluate his actions, right? And yeah, he was being cool to me and he was treating me like not like a princess. Like, it's okay, not like I deserve. But what he said, that he was looking for a job so that he could stay in Lima for me, and also that it was a surprise because he didn't tell me, and also his cousin, like, she told me, and you know, it's his cousin, so she could have been lying, but she told me he came to Lima for you, and I'm like, What? No. I mean, come on. He came to see his brother, and she's like, he didn't even know he would be here. Like, and in fact, he didn't even see him. And I'm like, yeah, because he took a risk, and he stayed in Lima for me because I asked him to, and he stayed at my place because, you know, I offered him, but he was like, no, he came to Lima for you. And so now I don't know what to think. Like, even if I asked him, I think he's gonna deny it, but. So that's the story for now. I'll keep you updated.